We are now live with the one and only Jon Dexter. And you know what we got to do? We got to do a bit of this. I love it. Here we go. And how is that working for you, Jon Dexter? Like a bit of Planet of the Apes meets Hitchcock drama and suspense?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan. The original, anyway, the one with Charlton Heston was a huge influence on me.
Well, yeah, how could it not be? Just absolutely beautiful. We know what he said at the end of the movie. That ending had to be explained by the guiding star, God bless her, about 100 times because I didn't get it then. But as an older person, boy, do you get it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not a kid-friendly ending, but it is an adult, not so friendly ending. Well, who do we got in here straight tonight? It's the one and only, my 5-star business mentor, Sarah, what should we call her? The evangelist, Grocott. Great to have you in the studio tonight, Sarah Grocott. We've got to just type a bit and say, welcome to the chat.
Yes, nice to meet you, Sarah.
She is, I tell you what, a force of nature. And we're going to tell that as well, just in case she didn't hear that compliment. Force of nature, you are. Yeah, very positive, into helping people get the best out of their business. A business evangelist with Navigate, her company that she's setting up, a business mentorship company. And she's busy teaching students all week in workshops to do with AI, how it can accelerate your business, and exciting things like tax. One of our favorite subjects. So super cool, Sarah. Feel free to jump in with questions and advice, any bits of technical nuances that you can bring to the business party. Although we have to say, Jon Dexter is one with the force when it comes to being a balance of not only the art side of indie comics, but he's pretty much mastered the commercial side of things as well. Well, some indie comic creators struggle with balancing commercial art. Jon Dexter is not one of those people. He is pretty balanced, we would say, and he deserves that compliment because he's running 3 IPs. I think that's a very nice number. We call it the Trinity that he has. And thank you. No problem, Sarah Grocott. You're most welcome here with your robust business advice, and we do like your positivity as well. So let's get into it tonight. We're going to get into, well, it's a return to the show for Jon Alpha Dogs Dexter. Not just Alpha Dogs, though. The 5 Pillars Storytelling Live. Azrael chats to Jon Dexter. Art, comics, movies, games, and toys. Eyes of a Needle. We thread with the golden thread of storytelling. So art, comics, movies, games, and toys are the sub-niches, but we view storytelling as an overall umbrella niche for those things, because art goes into comics goes into movies, and obviously the Marvel's movies are a good example of that. And movies are eclipsed even now in revenue by games. And the ultimate game and movie is, of course, toys. We're living in the era of the man-child, where things like Michelangelo's Michael statues are being reforged, rephoenixed as action toys, as marquettes, possibly an area for Alpha Dogs to go into with a bit of 3D merch, statue merch later on in the day. Maybe. And it's Sunday, 31st of August. It's Alpha Dogs. It's 7 p.m. Well, we kind of elasticize that to 7:30-ish. Greenwich Mean Time, London, UK. So we've got a bit of, we like to make our guests feel comfortable in the show. We like to elasticize a bit. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's just like an X follow. You just log into YouTube, give us a sub, and basically everyone counts. We call it the power of one, and everyone counts to give us bigger audience to shine a bigger spotlight onto the powers of Jon Dexter and his IPs. And host introduction. Well, hello there. Welcome to 5 Pillars of Storytelling Live, where we talk art, comics, movies, games, and toys. I'm your host, Azrael, my secret identity. Fresh out the bath tonight, folks. We had to freshen up. Is Carl Prometheus, kind of Batman to my Bruce Wayne, storyteller, artist, and promoter of indie creators, indie comics, and the indie comic community. We're trying to do our best to help grow the indie comics community. Our ex-storytelling community now is weighing in at 4,578 followers as per day. We think we've got 5K on the horizon. We'll see, shall we? And hopefully when we get to 5K, we'll be able to, shall we say, show up the first page of this classified secret project. Just saying. Our style is universal. We can be watched by creative families, creative adults, and the creative younglings, family friendly. Our motto is to listen, learn, and share. Inspiring quote, why not? Comics are an international language. They can cross boundaries and generations. Comics are a bridge between all cultures. Ozuma Tezuka, legend. Now, we're going to get to shut up in a little while, which is what we like doing. We prefer listening rather than talking. Trust us on that one. And guest introduction is obviously Jon Dexter. Bit of pros for him. Most indie comic creators won't be boastful and say the nice things. That's our job. We'll do it for them. So Jon Dexter at Real Alpha Dogs on X, writer of the comic titles Alpha Dogs. If you're a dog lover, and we suspect that Sarah Growcup might be, then you might like Alpha Dogs here tonight. Remember, with dogs and cats, there's 8 billion people on the planet, and maybe they're half each. If there's 4 billion dog owners and 4 billion cat owners, that makes 8 billion people on the planet. At 4 billion people like dogs, that is a multi-millionaire indie comic market, folks, we think. Also, a second IP on the list is Dime Store Detective. We've backed in the past Alpha Dogs and Dime Store Detective, and Space Cruising is his third IP. If you don't like Alpha Dogs, you can get Dime Store Detective. If you like Pulp Noir, Guilty as Charged. And Space Cruising, if you like a bit of Star Trek sci-fi action. It says here, and I quote him directly, he won't say this himself, but we'll say it for him. I am a 2-time Academy Awards Screenwriting Contest semi-finalist for the screenplay The Weeping Trees. Sign up for Alpha Dogs Volume 1 on Kickstarter. Let's look into that green light on our iMac, build up a bit of an intimate relationship with our audience. Well, as intimate as we can be through a green light and a piece of glass. Moving swiftly on, here's the link. Kickstarter.com projects, Dime Store Detective, Alpha Dogs, Volume 1, Special Edition, etc. A warm welcome back to the show, the one and only Jon, the professional Dexter.
Thank you. I appreciate having me back on, Kyle. That's quite a humbling introduction. Thank you very much. Hopefully I can live up to it.
Oh, we think you can. And who's in the house tonight? The one and only Battle General, FAO, folks. It is Master Crenshaw. He's the guy who put his shoulder to the boulder to be part of the indie comic community and help people out. Things he does for the community, he retweets or retweets, as it's called these days. Our live show, he'll retweet it for us, spread the word about good indie comics. He'll be there with retweets to support the community. And he's got his own writing ambitions to do, like most other people in the indie comic community. He has his own ambitions and stuff like that, and probably wants an artist to jump in with him for his top secret writing project, his own secret IP that's developing in the background. So he says, Kyle and Jon, hello. And we say to him, we practice typing, we say, hello there, Master Crenshaw. Right then, let's get into this. Put that down. Say, hello there. There he is. Yes. Multitasking with the touch typing, we love it. Right, moving swiftly on. The big 5 questions. Are you ready, Jon Dexter, for the big 5? Let's do it. We think you were born ready. Right then, who is Jon Dexter? We think looking at the picture in the middle says it all. And then you've got his 3 IPs, Trinity IPs, and then you've got him selling it really well at a convention with his pop-up banners, one for Alpha Dogs and one for the Dinosaur Detector. So we say, who is Jon Dexter? Storytelling influences, comic journey, movies, music. Who am I, Jon Dexter?
Yeah, well, as I'm the creator of these comic books. I've been writing since I was quite young. It's all I ever wanted to do, and I started doing Kickstarters back in 2021 for Alpha Dogs. Didn't know what was going to happen, if that would be it. And thankfully, this is my 13th Kickstarter I'm running right now for my Alpha Dogs, the collected volume of all my comics that I've done so far with Alpha Dogs 1 through 5, plus a bonus story in there. But I'm just a Midwest guy. Grew up, like your normal small town kid, little town in Michigan called Leslie, and yeah, it's just always been my passion to be a writer.
And passion you have to run 3, not just one, folks, but 3 IPs with exacting professional passion. One in the classic pulp tradition where the standards are high, because you've got to go back to things like the Maltese Falcon, which are indelibly etched into our minds with people like the Granite Bogart and the cast to beat with henchmen like with Nemesis like Sidney Greenstreet and the one and only Peter Lorre, the henchman supreme. And you've got a space IP again where standards are quite high with things like Star Trek and Star Wars, and then actually run an IP where people love their pets, they love their dogs. So actually, it's quite a bold move to run a pet IP, but we think only a guy with that image in the middle who loves his pet can create a comic like that. So it seems like your work, Jon, is infused with the passion coming from your family life, and pets are part of the family, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. So the whole impetus of the story was we had lived in this town that was going to outlaw pit bulls, and we had a pit bull mix. So of course we were not going to get rid of our dog. So we moved, and that inspired me to create the story about this pit bull that's feared by the public because of his breeding size, but he has a big heart. It's kind of like the Casper the Friendly Ghost approach. This dog is this big, overgrown pit bull, and humans fear him just by his appearance. But he's got a big heart, a big softy, and throughout the story, he makes a lot of sacrifices to help protect humans that are in danger and animals as well. So it's got a lot of themes to the story. Along with this big epic adventure as well, with these dogs that are on this mission to stop this big hulking dog from carrying out its master's revenge plot.
So that's your kind of convention table pitch. And if Azrael swoops over to America and will gently set his feet down opposite your convention table, you basically say, this is a family passion project about your pet that's morphed into a comic where basically even dogs have got that lovable, noble, soulful nature. You can see it in their eyes, folks. And he's got his own mission to help humanity. Eat your heart out, Crypto, huh?
Yeah, eat your heart out. Yeah, this.
Can you go and see it?
I'm sorry, no, I have not seen it. Yeah, I'm not a big. This is definitely a superhero story, but with dogs. Much more of an indie comic. It's got a lot of passion into it. It's a very original story that people, I think, will enjoy. But I've never actually read a crypto comic book, to be quite honest.
Yes. Well, I tell you what, indie's what it's all about. We've kind of seen and heard the same old stories from the big two for the last 70 years? Yeah, 75 years. So we would say actually that indie comics have a chance to do something different. For example, Whether you go Team Marvel, Fantastic Four, or Team Superman, which we saw the other night, yesterday actually, what we find out is that it doesn't matter which movie studio you pick, they each have color grading from the Hollywood set of teal and mustard. Now, I don't know if the average customer notices that, but as a creator, maybe you as a creator, we notice it. And it creates this kind of flat approach, whereas in each of your IPs, we notice you've got your own color narrative, your own color palette for each IP. Is that intentional, John, that each book has its own flavor of plot, writing, color, editorial tone, and so forth?
Yeah, not really. I just kind of play it by ear, whatever's interested to me. I try to write, my goal is to write one of the best stories of that genre. So hopefully I've fulfilled, like, I've done everything I could in that genre, that play space, and then I moved to something else. So it's not anything intentional. It's just whatever, is my interest at the time.
And the creative team that you obviously do the writing and the concept creation. Who's your team on the actual art? Is that outsourced to a studios?
Yeah. It's it's Stone Tower. Yeah, it's Stone Tower Studios. They're out of Argentina. They do the coloring. They do the graphics. They do every aspect of the comic, of course, except for the writing, which is what I do. I hired them, and they've been nothing but fantastic. Fernando Malik, he's done work for some of the big threes. He's the artist of all the interiors. He does a lot of covers as well. Then I've got Lucas Ritmere that does a lot of work, and Alfredo. He is Alfredo Ritmere as well. He does the artwork for Dexter Detective, and he does a lot of the covers for me. He actually did the cover for this new release of Alpha Dogs. This is the studio. I had published the graphic novel about a year and a half ago, 1 through 4, and then literally a few weeks later, I got signed by publishers. Stone Towers, Source Point Press had signed me, and I thought it'd take like 5 years to get through all the copies that I printed, but thankfully, I'm almost out of print. So the publisher, we decided to do it right, do 1 through 5, because it is a 10-issue story. So it's basically the halfway point with a laminated cover, brand new cover, lettering down the binding. It really looks professional, really sharp. So I'm really proud to be able to release that through the publisher. And the cool part is the comics are already printed out. So the graphic novel is already printed. It's sitting there waiting for me to pick up. So people won't have to wait if they back the Kickstarter.
So again, this is another perhaps area for people who want to be professional in comics. Perhaps aim for is to have the product done, waiting there just to send out. So the campaign becomes almost a matter of taking in the orders, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So the campaign becomes more a matter of fulfillment of inventory.
Yes, absolutely. It's not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but if it's what your passion is, then it's worth it. So it's a gorgeous cover, a lot of work, but anything that you want to do is be successful at. It's a lot of work.
Well, there's no doubt about it. 1 IP is a lot of work. 3, well, that's a whole lot of love. Right then, see if we can do definitely. Well, yes, absolutely. Now we're going to see if we can get back our Alpha Dogs trailer. Just add that.
Yeah, it's a great trailer.
We don't mind doing a bit of that, share screen, and we're gonna share screen, get it back. It's disappeared, so we're gonna share it, and we're gonna hit the play button like this. Well, what can we say? We like that. We like it a lot. Very, very impressive
Thank you.
trailer. We like that. Say what does the dog say? Never trust humans. Azrael, Azrael has a little look at the horizon quizzically. Do you think we
Yeah.
again? Well, sometimes we're cryptic, but I tell you what, nothing wrong with the quality of that trailer. Very professionally done, and you get the. I mean, we grew up with Lassie Goes Home, stuff like that. Skippy the Bush Kangaroo. So we are used to having animal storytelling. So that trailer says it all. You know, we're used to animals telling their story and having a point of view. And sometimes we wonder what animals think when they're looking at us, the way humans behave. We actually live opposite a horse, so we go out and feed him a carrot, an organic carrot, now and again, and we have a little chat with him. You know, so and we grew up with pets. We had probably at least 10 dogs during our lifetime. So
Yeah.
we get this. We get where you're coming from. The passion, pets, the dog being part of the family. Now, tell us about this cover. Is there any kind of narrative intention? Is it meant to be summative? Our 1-5 arc?
Yeah, it's basically, it tells you all the major players of the story. I think it's really gorgeous. And Alfredo Redmer did the cover. Gaston Zupilia, he did the coloring. It's got that beautiful sunburst. Yeah, it shows all the major players of the story. You've got Buck, the main character, in the middle there. His owner Ina, who's been, hiding him from the mercenaries that are trying to possess his powers for years. And you've got the other dogs that are kind of part of the team of the alpha dogs. And then at the top is the antagonist, the villain of the stories. At the very top, Mato and the mercenary and the scientist. So, kind of gives you a whole feel of what we're dealing with in this story, and it's just beautiful.
Well, that is worthy of a trade paperback, certainly. It has a lovely autumnal warmth about it, you know, a warmth that says how soulful dogs are. You see the fire in their eyes, you know.
Yeah.
So then, the premise. Do you want us to do the movie voice? Or are you going to read it yourself, John Dexter? We're sure you've got a movie voice in you.
I doubt it. I don't really have a movie voice, but I can explain it to you. Um, Alpha Dogs features Buck, a dog with the power to heal from most any wound, along with a heightened strength and intelligence. Although he's feared by the public because of his breed and size, it doesn't deter Buck from helping those in danger. So it's got a great premise, great story. People have really been enjoying it. It got me a publisher, which is, as most people will tell you, getting a publisher for a nobody indie comic book writer is an accomplishment. I think it's a testament to the story that it's really enjoyable with a lot of heart.
Absolutely. To get a publisher off the back of that is telling. You know what I mean? But what we think
Yeah.
we've got there, why you've succeeded, if we may interject, to just say you've got the right subject matter. 1 in 2
I think
people on the
so.
planet love dogs, so it's got a broad mass market appeal. We wouldn't say that's niche by any stretch of the imagination. It's got broad appeal, and perhaps that's why the publisher picked you up. There, you've picked your IPs shrewdly there. I would say, of your 3 books, that's the broadest appeal because people love their animals, they love their dogs. Now then, preview art of the interior, folks. Got 4 pages coming up. Perhaps you can tell us about this first one, please, John.
Yeah, so this I did the first 5 pages of Alpha Dogs issue 2 because I wanted you to get introduced to Mato. He's the antagonist of the story. So here we've got these guys, kind of these dirtball guys, these bad guys that are trying to solicit Salem, the main villain of the story, to keep their mouth shut, or to pay them off to keep their mouth shut, or they're going to divulge what he's been doing with these dogs. He's been capturing these dogs and giving them the blood of Buck and the other older dogs. So here they get introduced to. This is where we get introduced to Monto and his powers here. So it's pretty cool, and it's a little shocking.
Yeah. Right then, and the next page.
Yep. So here are them trying to solicit Salem. He's the main villain guy, the guy with the beard. They're trying to solicit him to get on his crew, join his crew to whatever nefarious things he's been up to, or they're gonna divulge his secrets to the police.
See, so strong arm him into the gang, yeah, into the Brotherhood. And what we're
Yeah.
here.
And then you have Monto. He's the, like I said, the antagonist, the main villain dog. He's on a revenge mission for here, and here we get introduced to the new powers that Monto has. He's able to he's smart enough to to open his car door, and the guys are like, "Wow, that's an amazing trick!" And then he shows them his power, and here's the panels of that.
Yeah,
Then he grows to this big, gigantic size.
I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want to be messing with him on a dark Friday night, that's for sure. Yes,
he would eat Cujo.
Yeah, we'd be thinking not the face. It would come to mind.
Yeah,
and this one's a bit juicy. Tell us about this one, please, John.
Yeah, this says my famous line I'd like to think of that I created here on this page. I should say I'm proud of, where he says, "I am Monto and you are my prey." And here he's going to go after these guys that are the the bane of his master. So Monto here, we're going to find out once you read the comic the fate of these two thugs.
I'll tell you what, we don't think
it's not good.
We don't think those Levi's denims are going to help protect them.
No.
And that trench coat, that's not going to help either. We recommend running. That looks pretty fierce. Like the red and yellow speech balloon, by the way. Just that little bit of intimidation there in the narrative.
Yeah, that was my letter's idea. He did a great job. Lucas Urita, he does the graphics, he does the lettering. That was actually his idea, and it turned out great. I wanted something, and he came up with that idea because I wanted something to distinguish the dogs, that the dogs are talking. So the humans can't understand the dogs, but
we can.
The humans can't understand what the dogs are saying. Now Now the dogs can understand what the humans are saying, but it's not something dogs can do.
So that's something that gives them an extra advantage over the human prey.
Yes,
they can understand the humans, but the humans can't understand the dogs. That's a nice little bit of a power play. Makes the bit of obviously you'd run from a dog like that, but it gives an extra step up in power, because they have the power of communication, their own secret code that humans can't break. So that's very clever. Good catch, Jon Dexter.
Yeah, and it would come across as very hokey and silly if the humans could understand the dog. So I wanted to be able to keep people in that suspension of disbelief, even though they're dogs, they have these powers. I wanted still to bring a certain level of believability to it that I believe it does. I think, like I said, the themes in it are carryover, and it's been pretty enjoyable for people that give it a chance.
Absolutely. Right then, let's move on to the crowdfunder then. We've gone, you can tell us about all the other options, but we're keeping it nice and simple with digital, paper, and a bit of merch afterwards. So tell us about the digital and paper crowdfunder options, please, John.
Yeah, so the $14 one, that's for the digital that you can get to anywhere around the world. Obviously, it's over 130 pages of comic for only $14. I think it's a really good deal. But that's the digital version.
Less than $3 per comic. Not bad.
Exactly, yeah. And then the next one is the actual physical book, and that's in different parts of the world. You can get that. Canada, I think UK, you can get the physical comic book for only $30. Again, 130 pages, and then there's one that for $5 extra, I signed the book. A lot of cool tiers in here, none of them that are crazy expensive. And there's other ones where you can get all the different covers that are available for Alpha Dogs, and there's another one on there for $90. You can get the physical comics of all of my titles, and there's also one in there for the digital version of all of my comics for I think it's like $40. It's all 5 issues of Alpha Dogs, all 5 issues of Dempster Detective and Space Cruising as well.
That sounds like a bargain to us. That $40 and you're getting up to $15. I mean, that's some going, isn't it? The digital option, you're really weighing in there with a bit of bulk buying saving.
Talking 300 pages. Yeah,
300 pages, and if you go digital, you're saving on international shipping as well with that 300 pages as well.
Exactly.
Like now, then, crowdfunder. There is a new add-on. This is something we often wonder, with a look of mystery on our face, why a lot of indie creators do not do t-shirt merch, and we just look at the sky and think, well, if you want to make your goal, just saying that the comic is your core product, and you want to break even on that at least. But as Steve Conley of Facebook Thrills once said, your merch is great. So we have t-shirts, first time ever. John says, I'm adding t-shirts to Alpha Dog. Choose these 3 awesome covers. The Spider-Man homage shirt, which looks really cool, will be exclusive to this Kickstarter and never sold again. Tell us more, Jon Dexter, about you bringing in t-shirt merch.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about it, posters or t-shirts, and I've never done it before because it is expensive to do, but I've got a way to where it's basically pay. They're not produced until someone buys them, so it won't be out so much money because t-shirts, are hard sell. They're more expensive to ship, but I wanted to add something special for people. They've been asking for it, so this might be a one-time thing. I don't know yet. It depends how the t-shirts do, but they're really gorgeous shirts of some really cool covers that I had done.
Those t-shirts look absolutely gorgeous. The covers look very handsome and smart on the black. Absolutely. I think we quietly predict that your t-shirts will do okay. We'll be interested to see how they actually do going forward.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And again, quite curious myself.
if somebody puts one of those on, you've got yourself a walking billboard.
Exactly.
You can either pay somebody to have a kind of wooden billboard front and back, or you can do t-shirts, which is a lot more comfortable than a placard or a billboard. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That was the thinking to use the t-shirt to help kind of get the word out for Alpha Dogs. The beautiful cover. Somebody may ask what the heck Alpha Dog is. So that's another big reason why I went with t-shirts up as opposed to a poster that just hangs on somebody's wall.
Well, it's that thing, isn't it? Of if you've got, let's say you sell 100 t-shirts or even 10 t-shirts, and somebody's walking around their town with that, and they're a dog lover, to me, they might not buy comics, but they might, as a dog lover, buy an indie comic about a dog.
Absolutely. You were able to get that kind of cross promote with anything dog centric that you're doing.
I mean, this could have distribution in pet stores. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I thought about it. I'm gonna wait till those are printed up and then take the graphic novel to some pet stores. Try it that way. We've been talking about it here and there, but yeah, it's something I definitely need to do.
Something that Heather Veely, who a lovely feminine energy creative indie comic creator of Next Evolution, was doing with Next Evolution Comics 1 and 2, was going on a micro pub distribution tour where you get to have an adult beverage and maybe a nice meal, but each location you go to, you can say, look, will you stock my indie comics? So basically, if somebody goes to one of these more modern pubs, they can basically have a pint to drink, a nice pub lunch, and something to read. It all sounds very civilized, As pubs evolve, as indie comics evolve, there is a cross promotional opportunity. So she actually was defining her own distribution points. Do you see any mileage in doing something the equivalent of that with your own IP, John?
I might. It's something that I haven't really thought too much about, but it would be a good idea. I'll take any ideas I can get. It's really tough to do. I'm not very good at the advertising and soliciting aspect of it. It's definitely not something I enjoy, but it's something that's a necessity if you're going to build your brand. So, yeah, that's something I would definitely take under consideration.
Right, we're going to ask this question. Like we're an alien. That's people might say we are. That's just been airdropped into this swivel seat, and we're going to ask the question: will I like alpha dogs? Who is it for? At the risk of asking an obvious question.
I mean, honestly, it's pretty much for everybody. Even if you're not a big comic book reader, I write very cinemically. So I have a screenwriting background. So that's was my first passion. Was the cinema and writing movies. So it's very much, even though you're reading it, it's very much kind of a movie when you're reading it. It's got a lot of the same structures of a movie. So, and if you're a dog lover, of course you'll love that. Anybody that's ever loved a dog or had a real special relationship with theirs, I think it's very adaptable to them. Because you see that passion through the work of the love for the owner and their dog, just like mine, and it's Alpha Dogs is X-Men meets Homework. Like, we're trying to stop this.
You're just breaking up a bit there, Jon Dexter. We like the idea of. I think you're saying that Alpha Dogs was X-Men meet something else. We weren't quite sure what the second thing you said.
Homeward Bound. I don't know if you're familiar with Homeward Bound,
We're
but
not. Tell us
it's about
about
these
it.
dogs that go on to certain. Yeah. So it's it's got a lot for everybody, a lot of heart, and it's a great adventure. So I really wouldn't put an age limit on it or anything like that because there's no
All
swear
ages.
words. Yeah, basically, there's a few swear words, but nothing terrible. The dog gets shot, but he can instantly heal. So it's anything gratuitous, but it's also not hokey. It's not silly. It's something that I think about anybody could read and be able to keep that suspension of disbelief.
So X-Men meets Homeward Bound. So it's almost like mutant X-Men dogs in a sense. That's a very good
Yeah,
can or uncanny target audience. Very good, sir. Very good. We like. And the fact that it's
yeah,
all ages as well. The fact that it's all ages. You're trying to be inclusive as possible. Some people they want to go down the horror route and they want to go down a certain kind of niche, but every niche perhaps has its glass ceiling. Some horrors do very well, others can find themselves very pigeonholed. So it depends. I
yes,
mean, obviously, Walking Dead is a horror that really took off for Image Comics, yeah. But other horrors can, in indie comics, be very, very pigeonholed, where you're struggling to get out of that dark, kind of edgy kind of niche that you're in, and wondering why you're not selling more. And then maybe the language is a bit adult, whereas you're being very canny in terms of going for the broadest possible audience with the genre, the dogs, and using language that a little bit edgy. There's a bit of threat going on there. It's classical storytelling, like classical Disney before Captain Kirk went crazy and took over the Enterprise. Basically, got classic Disney where an adult can enjoy it on their level, but an adult can enjoy it as well in their level. Like, for example, Jungle Book.
yeah, absolutely.
So, Jon Dexter, why do you create indie comics, and when did your journey with indie comics begin, sir?
Well, I'd say I became really obsessed with them back during the Fox Kids the Fox Kids X-Men TV show back in '92. That's when I really became obsessed. And I would use my paper route money to go back and buy back issues of the X-Men. Say, anything with Wolverine in it, I was a big fan of. So that's kind of where it started. And then I was more doing the screenwriting thing, and after I had the idea for Alpha Dogs, I decided I wanted to finally go back and hit the comic book world again. I created a comic many years before that really crashed and burned. It was a superhero story. I really didn't know what I was doing. Comic book genre. I didn't have a very good artist, so it sold like 5 copies. So I kind of just said, well, no more. But Alpha Dogs really played into that to that genre with the dogs with their superpowers. So I decided to have a crack at it again, give one more shot, and it really has taken off since then, and able to help fund my other passion project, Dumpster Detective and Space Cruise. So it's really the genre. I mean, the platform I prefer to write is the comic book. The comic book technique, because screenwriting is very much more structured. You can kind of have your eternal second act in a comic book.
Yeah. So then, Alpha Dogs really is you learning from that superhero story IP and thinking, what's my genuine passion? My passion is my family, my dog, and using that as a source of inspiration for your comic. I think we're just losing Jon Dexter.
To us.
Go on.
And I wanted to kind of showcase that breed of bulls, that they are good dogs. So that's why I wanted to put that in the forefront of the story. Use the pit of prejudice against people and dogs.
So there's a kind of X-Men and prejudice against X-Men because they're mutated, they're different, and the dog breed has got its own prejudice, and it's that sense of showing the humane side of animals.
It's kind of that nurture versus nature, which goes for kids and animals as well, Yes, exactly. So I wanted to kind of showcase that. Absolutely.
Right. What advice would you give aspiring creators? We listen, we learn and share on this program. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's got their own perhaps pet cat or pet dog, or they've got their own superhero story? What, in terms of exploring the passion, what would you advise, Jon Dexter, as our current in-house expert?
I would say just writing. Write every day as you're trying to learn. Writing is one of those things that you will get better at the more you do. I would read comic books, read about techniques of how to write comic books, or I would just say screenwriting, because it's all the same. Find out books that really will help you with your technique. Stephen King's on writing. Save the Cat is a great one. There's a bunch of good writing books out there, but I would stick to anything, comic book or movie screenplay writing, because they're all the same technique. It's just done in a different pace than say a movie or a television script, which kind of a comic book. I approach my comic books kind of like a television script. It's a episodic, episodic comic book, but you still have to have, your hook. You have to, introduce whatever situation is, and then on a cliffhanger is how I write, and kind of still have an inner story with this big story you're trying to tell, but have an inner story so people can, enjoy the comic book, because you have to have your setup, execution, and conflict. That goes whether it's 50-page comic or a 300-page comic.
So really, it's soap opera, and you say read a lot and write a lot.
Yeah,
that's what we say. Liquid gold advice. It's sage advice. It's one of those phrases. What do we say? Do it. Do it. Now, Jon Dexter, what kind of superhero would you be? So for some people it stays the same, for some people it changes.
Oh boy, I don't know. I guess I have to say, um, I don't know. Wolverine was my favorite superhero, so I suppose, but I don't really have the personality of a Wolverine. I have more of a personality of like a Peter Parker, a dork, So I don't know. I guess I'd be more of a Peter Parker type of guy, trying to do the right thing and struggling with to get through life like everybody else.
Hey, I tell you what, that's a cool answer. We like that. I think a lot of people do identify with Peter Parker, that
Yeah.
vulnerable humanity, and the idea that even when we're grown up, sometimes, as Brian May Queen would once said, even when you're an adult, you sometimes feel that you're tentatively grown up.
Yeah.
Right then, bonus questions, not many. So here we go. What are your future plans for Alpha Dogs going forwards, Jon Dexter?
So issue six is just starting to get drawn. That's going to be coming out early 2026. Then after that, I'll be doing the next issue of Dime Store Detective. I flip flop between Dime Store Detective and Alpha Dog. So my goal is to get through at least a few issues of Alpha Dogs in 2026. I'm just kind of going back and forth with Dime Store Detective because both of them are terrific stories, and you can get all my comics in this Kickstarter that's going on right now.
Absolutely, you can get the jackpot, and at $40, that's we put that to sterling. Actually, that's what's that going to be, about 20-25 quid. That's actually quite a deal you're offering there for the digital. Right then, ooh, one of our favorite questions here. We could certainly fancy one of these right now. What is your favorite pizza, John?
Oh, my favorite pizza is pepperoni, bacon, red onion, and fresh mushroom. That's my favorite pizza.
I tell you what, right now, if you offered us that, we put ourselves head first into it. Right now, we're looking at this fist and thinking if we could slice it up and put it on a pizza, we'd probably eat that right now. Don't worry, folks. It's not a drawing hand. Just to do with the way we're mirrored, this is actually our right hand and our drawing hand. So don't worry about Azrael's drawing hand. So yes, we put our face in a margarita, triple, quadruple cheese right now. Anything that has pizza and things on top. And we won't get into the pineapple debate either. We behave ourselves. Moving swiftly on then from pizza, where can they find out more info, John, about Alpha Dogs and the special edition?
Yeah, so head over to Kickstarter. It's live. It's got 19 days left. We're 300% funded, but looking to hit that first stretch goal of 3,000. That's kind of my personal goal, is to hit the 3,000 mark.
Congratulations on funding, John.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. That will pay for the printing of the comics if I hit the 3,000 mark. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And we're halfway there, but they can find, like I said, on Kickstarter. If you don't do Kickstarter, I'm also on Simon & Schuster, Barnes & Noble, and a bunch of other places. I'm on social media at Real Alpha Dogs. I'm on X. I'm on Facebook, and Alpha_Dogs_comic on Instagram.
So really well represented on social media, and that's good to actually go broad with your social media strategy to aggregate followers and spread the word as wide as possible, because obviously some people prefer some platforms and not others. That's just people have got their own taste and points of view, haven't they? So yes, that's where you can find Jon Dexter and Alpha Dogs and the Alpha Dogs Special Edition, Volume 1. Right then, we say thank you very much for being our special guest, Jon Dexter. We wish you well, Alpha Dogs, and Godspeed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Yeah, I have to say, you're weighing in as a very efficient, and no wonder we call you the professional, weighing in at a record 50 minutes, slicing off an hour and a half of our previous guests. So, no, but your answers are efficient, to the point, and you've got that professionalism that perhaps indie comics more and more is probably aiming towards. So you really are perhaps the holy grail of indie comics in terms of how to manage your IP, balance business with the art, working the publishers, getting across multiple platforms to get the word out, and even outsourcing to a professional art house. Just little things, instead of having to do absolutely everything ourselves. Sometimes we can have a small team and spread the load just enough. And having the IP done, the books printed and ready to fulfill, and the crowdfunder just becomes about fulfillment of orders and ordering, you know?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, thanks for having me on. I had a good time. I always enjoy your show, and I love the accent.
Thank you very much. We're glad somebody likes our accent. God bless you, sir. We say please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow Jon Dexter on X and Facebook and his other platforms. Have a look at the Kickstarter, Alpha Dog Special Edition. Subscribe to the 5 Puzzle Storytelling, or follow on us on X and YouTube as well. Just log in, give us a sub, so we can grow that as well. We've recently broken the 150 mark on YouTube. We're currently at 154. On X, we're currently at 4,578 and counting. Maybe 5K on the horizon. We shall have to wait and see. We'll say once again, God bless you, sir. And we shall put our outro music on to say bon voyage, sir. And give us say hello to your pet bull as well. Your pet.
I will. Thank you for having me on again, and I appreciate it. We'll have to do it again.
God bless you, sir. We'll have to do it again in the future for Damn Store Detective.
Yes, absolutely. Goodbye.